Big Shook, Big Shook. It's really real right now.
Mr. DL.
2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Who's off? I could just lose your mind.
Yes, we are back. Number 62 of the Danger Zone podcast with
Big Shook.
Mr. DL and
Chef Tiny Nicole. I thought it was 63.
No, I don't think so. We did.
Last week.
No, last week was Big Suge's birthday
62.
episode. Yeah. So
It's 62, I think.
Yeah, because last week, remember, we were celebrating Big Suge's birthday slash.
I don't know how old Big Sugar is. So happy birthday.
My birthday?
No, you said we're episode 61, just like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's 62. Mm-hmm.
So what's going on with you, Big Suge? How's everything going?
I'm cooling, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Bumpy Knuckles, man. Had a birthday yesterday.
Oh, I saw that.
My militia brother, you know what I'm saying? AKA, man, you know what I'm saying? Freddie Fox. Shout out the family. Phyllis had a birthday this weekend, too.
Oh, happy
birthday, Phyllis.
You know
21.
what I'm saying? Also, hey, you know what I'm saying? Just as we know, man, it's still the happy birthday hip hop year and all that, too. So, one thing, though, the judge, right before he told the person that killed Nipsey Hussle, the judge had told him that you got a long road ahead of you because Nipsey Hussle was loved by so many. You know what I mean? Especially in our system and stuff that he was doing for people, you know, on the streets, and just he was just a beloved person. Like, you know what I mean? The dude clapped him in a cowardly way. You know what I'm saying? So the dude's name is Eric Holder.
Yep.
Just in case you were living on a rock and you don't know what his name was.
Excuse me.
And he be sentenced. He'll be there for a while. So he's going to play the role of a few different things because guys like that, they're most likely going to be in protective custody. If not, you'll be getting your ass whooped all the time.
That's
and
what
a
I
few
was
dudes
gonna
probably
ask
having sexual pleasures with you.
Oh, boy.
You probably want to.
Dangerous.
Is that an actual a thing? Like, obviously, I know that happens in prison, but like, do people purposely be like, okay, this dude's coming in for XYZ? When he come in, we gonna F him up, or like?
I mean, well, you have to think of yourself. Just think about that. I mean, of course it'd be like that, you know, because it's like we were talking about people getting jumped. You know, it's a situation where people are jumping him. You understand what I'm saying? If he goes around a group anywhere in that population, whatever, he's getting jumped.
If he's a jump pop, he's gonna have affliction.
He's getting jumped. And let me tell you, and it ain't about someone, you know, they're not tough enough to do that, like, by themselves. It's just, like I was saying, trying to say, like that, certain things like that, especially behind the walls, a whole different life than what we know out here. You understand what I'm saying? And it's probably even more so the cowardly way that he did kill him. You know what I mean? He came back and he shot this guy, knew who he was. You know, he didn't do anything to him. He just said words to him, and I guess his feelings was hurt. But sometimes, man, and I know some people personally, that one instance, you know, is shooting that gun and taking a life, it changed forever. You know what I'm saying? You can't take that back. You know what I'm saying?
Hip-hop,
you know, so that's, you know.
Hip-hop is so loved and so worldwide and so accepted now that even he might have problems in PC with the CEOs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it could be. It could be, you know, just like I said, because of the person too.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
but
exactly.
then again, the CEOs still have a job too, though. You know what I mean? And as long as you have family members that are going to contact you and look up on you, you know, you got a whole lot of inmates in prison that have a whole bunch of money in their accounts for suing the system and suing other motherfuckers for a lot of shit you don't even know about. You know what I mean? So protection, that's what they're there for. There's even a problem, man, if you get killed in prison. You get killed in prison, you're not supposed to. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be going to prison for rehabilitation and to be protected and to be kept away from
protect the public.
The society. You see what I'm saying? So if you go there and get killed, then they weren't doing their job. And that stuff you don't never learn about or whatever. You don't know about because people just sue this one and that one. They might not even dealt with who the inmate was. If there's money coming, there's everybody like with their hands out. You know what I mean? So, but needs to say, dude's definitely a sucker, you know, in that situation. And he took this man's life, you know, and you know, when you take people's life, he's where you're gonna be. When they catch you, that's where you're gonna be. And it's not cool. I mean, it's not. Even people glorify certain things and records or whatever. Let me tell you, just even from my time, what I've seen, and you know, if you could show some of these people, man, what it's really like, you know, in these prisons, and the hardcore side of it, not no silly, I'm here for about a year. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like some real shit.
Real straight, scared straight.
I think they probably would second guess that, man, 100% of the time. You have wings in prisons, man, where they can't even have these people around humans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got to go in there for one person, 20 deep, with SWAT uniforms on to go get one person, because that's how dangerous this motherfucker is. So, you know, I mean, he's where he's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to mention that, you
know. Speaking of people with their hands out, and you said that a couple minutes ago, Black Thought and Questlove are being sued for racketeering by former member of the Roots. Have you seen this?
No.
Black Thought and Questlove have been sued for racketeering by the widow of former Roots member Leonard Hub Hubbard. According to Pitchfork, Black Thought and Questlove have been accused of violating federal RICO statutes in regard to the management of the band's finances. So it sounds like to me like it's probably just
it's
like
a
you said,
situation.
Yeah, someone with their hand out. It sounds like to me the article was kind of clickbait because when they tell the story, it's his wife. It's the widow of the member's wife. So
right.
Because
you know, rest in peace, Hubbard. That was my man. You know, he used to have that chew stick. You know what I'm saying? He was a real solid dude. I kicked it with him quite a few times too. And these things happen, man. Like I even myself, I have a couple of situations that I will address by the way things were worded on records and stuff where I should have been getting money from. You know what I mean? And these are things like I haven't addressed it, but I'm aware of it. You know what I mean? And if I, God forbid, were here tomorrow or whatever, that you would hear that shit come up, you know, in a certain way. But it's like something that might have, like with him, everything might have been pretty much cool. But then there's spots that are missed. Like sometimes there's spots that are missed. And then when now he's not here, then someone's combing that shit, you know what I mean? Legally or whatever. And they're like, oh, damn, look at this right here. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you see that when Takeoff, rest in peace, got killed and his parents are beeping over his bread.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, and me personally, if that was my son, God forbid anything would happen to him, but or them, my sons, I would never have to beef with the estranged mom, like me and her being straight beef. Yeah. It would never be like that.
50% your genetics, 50% mine. It's real easy.
That's people who understand, like, you know, what it is. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, that people, like, it ain't about greed for me. I don't live like that. And I'm sure she doesn't either. But I mean, that to me, that's like just craziness. Somebody first of all, the person is gone. So any money you get, if something happens to someone and you end up getting $100 million, it's
not like you should be happy. You know what I mean? It.
Yeah. That's you're going to become a whole nother person. You know, you never were living like that before. Because of this person, that's now how you live. You know what I mean? Like, and so the person is just a memory, and you've done whatever you've done to obtain some money that might be there or not. And at the end of the day, the person is still gone. So, you know, if it's greed, you know, I mean, you know, if it's greed, I mean, that's part of life. There's some greedy motherfuckers out there. We know that. You know what I mean? If it's on care and love, then it's going to take care of itself another kind of way. You know, so hopefully they work that situation out. You know?
Yeah.
Speaking as we were speaking on jail, as we know, Suge Knight.
Oh yeah.
He's serving 28 years, which he actually won't do 28 years. Excuse me. But he was sentenced 28 years.
You don't think so?
In 2000.
You don't think he'll do? You don't think he'll do the time? All of it?
No, not 28. Not 28 years.
Interesting.
Just like I'll get back to this, but just like Ray Caruth, who had rest in peace, Sherika Adams murdered. Those who don't know that story, Ray Caruth was a former NFL player for the Carolina Panthers. He contracted a couple of guys to kill his pregnant girlfriend. So he was driving the car. She was following him, and the killers were behind her. So then he stopped as the trapper, and then Ray Caruth stopped, and the killers came around and shot him 3-4 times. And what I'm saying is, obviously that was cowardly shit.
Powerful.
You know what I mean? And he was supposed to do, I think, might have been 30 or 24 to 30 or something like that. He did 19. Now, needless to say, 19 ain't no walk in the park. You know what I mean? But still, he did 19. And he's back out there. The dude who actually shot it got like 50 years. So, you know what I mean? And he felt that dude should be the same as him. Yeah. But
I just thought they've been lining Suge Knight up since the 80s, so I just thought they would keep his ass in the jail as long as they could.
Nah, that's more TV shit than reality. You know what I'm saying? Because
Suge Knight.
I'm not too sure.
He's got to be as old as Dre and those guys because he was around then when they were just coming out.
I would say that dude I think he could start at 50. You know what I'm saying? I think so, 50, 49, somewhere around there. Okay. Yeah, he could be that. But,
I'm going to guess 50. Let's see right here. 57 years old.
Oh, he's even older than that.
Yeah, I knew he had to be that age because when NWA started, he was already messing like a problem for them then when they started out in 86. So he has to be, he has to be up.
So when you get out early, you either getting out early for good behavior, you're getting out early because maybe the prisons are overcrowded. Like I know in COVID, they let a lot of people go.
Tekashi,
it was misdemeanors and other things, but.
Let me tell you the difference to that. So, when they say you're getting out for good behavior, you're not really getting out for good behavior. You're just getting out for not getting caught up into nothing. So there's good time. There's time that's shaved off monthly anyway from these sentences, just from you not getting into shit. Like you just doing your normal time.
Okay.
And that's kind of like, it's kind of this guidelines, you know what I'm saying, that you're going to get, this good, they call it good time.
Okay.
You won't get let out early because of overcrowding, not if you have to serve one of them kind of bids, unless you're towards the end of it. If you're towards the end of it, then, they usually have guys with minimum security by then or stuff like that because they get ready to get out, you know what I mean? So that's a little different. But, excuse me, like I said, if someone sentenced you to 25 years in prison, doing 18 years or 17 years is a long time.
Fuck yeah.
Now, what we're talking about, we're not talking about just I'm in jail, I'm locked up. I'm about the day-to-day. I'm talking about whether the good or the bad, the working, being around people who don't necessarily like each other. You're all there because you have to be there. That's not what you choose.
18 years
crazy
is a long
mishandling
time.
of things.
Being married with a lot of partners.
Me and Suge have known each other for 18 years. So, and I feel like I've known him for a long time. So it's like that's a long time to sit up in there. You know what I'm saying? Let's say make him pay the 12.
You don't understand.
All I can think of,
but it's not even.
Excuse me, Big Shub. I know you're gonna continue there, but all I can think of is like being with a bunch of people, a bunch of roommates that all have annoying, annoying ticks, and you have no choice. Like you can't go nowhere.
Yeah. Well, it's a large scale of that.
That's a little bit of bullying. You know what I mean? And a lot of that goes with that. See. Jail is like every part of jail not like that. You know what I mean? If people do their time, you got grown folks in there. You got different kind of people, wild young motherfuckers. You got every kind of, federal prison. You might have white collar criminals. You know what I mean? That won't bust a grape, but they was busting dollars. So that's why they're there. So it's a lot of different shit because the meek shall inherit the earth, and that saying goes deep. As far as you will perish first. Like, you know what I mean? Being weak and meek, so to speak. You know what I mean? So that's why they say, that's why there's that saying. And that's how prison is. I mean, if I could, there's people out here in this life, if you go up to them right now, spy out them, they're not doing shit, but holding their face. You know what I mean? Another thing is,
hold their face.
You might slap them or something, and they might stop running or whatever. Now, the difference is, if you're in jail, something like that happens, you can't like that. You see what I'm saying? Because if you react like that, then you become prey anyway. You know what I mean? Like everybody in this, you know how now it's like internet. That bitch ass motherfucker. And they be that bitch dude or whatever. But in jail, that's a different kind of title to have, because motherfuckers all in there know that. So everybody's gonna treat you like a bitch unless you're someone else's bitch that's protected or whatever. Some crazy shit. But anyway, going back to Suge Knight, he was sentenced to 28 years in jail for running over someone in a car on purpose. You know what I mean?
The head.
It's not funny, he got problems.
He ran the head over.
He said he ran over the death of he ran over Terry Carter 3 years prior. Carter's death occurred during the filming of blockbuster NWA biopic Straight Outta Compton. That's when this happened.
Yeah.
So
I remember.
At the time, Knight copped to one count of voluntary manslaughter and admitted that he used his truck as a deadly weapon on that fatal day. A special allegation for the now closed case. So the reason why I even bring him up is because now they're talking about, they're in discussions to do a biopic on his life. Suge Knight. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
I think with 50 Cent, right? With something 50, with the company that does BMF, is that?
BMF, yeah. So, which is crazy too, because that's what I mean. He can do this and have this done and make money, because act like there's nobody that's not going to watch that. You see what I'm saying? Man, they know what time it is. Everybody's going to watch that.
They need to wait a couple, maybe a decade until he's in there for a while, so they can do hey, do you feel guilty now?
So as long as this movie or show doesn't show what happened to him to go to prison, he can make money off of it, because you're not allowed to profit off of your crimes while you're in prison. So long as that's left out,
listen, it depends, because I mean that. If it's a biopic or whatever like that, then it's detailing what, and so he's going to make money off what he's doing. But if that was in there, then if people cut in, they cut in on that family. You see what I'm saying? But like everybody knows the whole story, so it's almost like they're watching it. People be watching it because of the interest. You got to think about Suge Knight, hip hop mogul at the time. One of the most feared in music, fuck hip hop and music, and by his own dudes that he employed, like that were on his label. Trust, I don't care what you say. People forget that years ago that Warren G, I believe, was the first to defect from that Death Row label.
He said defect.
Right? I remember him getting questioned and hearing this myself. And they said, well, why did you leave? And shit. He said, now check it. Snoop and all them still over there. He said, man, I wasn't into getting punked. And motherfuckers over there drinking piss and shit like that. So what do you insinuate? That's what that motherfuckers doing? This is what I heard. Like that. I mean, he said it. I seen that shit. You know what I mean? And I'm sure if somebody dig it up, they can find that. And then I was like, oh. So he basically saying that's why he left, and motherfuckers wasn't going to be chumping him or herbing him up. You see what I'm saying? So
he also probably got shelved like a motherfucker. As soon as I say he probably also got shelved like a motherfucker as soon as those other artists started showing up.
He got what?
Shelved, like pushed to the side.
Oh, well, I disagree with that, because he was a producer. One thing, and then you see what he did when he left. His shit blew out. You know what I'm saying? Warren G, Regulators.
Regulators was before Death Row though. I know that was him, but that was before Death Row, the Death Row era.
No. No. Go back. Yeah, go ahead and do your research right there.
Yeah.
Because that motherfucker, they separated from him.
I love it when this happens, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
it's like
you got to check that.
Scrabble, and somebody's looking up the word.
You got to think about. When Death Row started. And
so regulators came out in 1994.
Regulators.
Okay.
What's the Snoop Dogg Death Row release? What was it called? Dogfather?
Well, Snoop Dogg wasn't the first release on Death Row.
No, I don't think it was the first release, but I'm saying once those guys started, I mean, not Snoop Dogg, I'm sorry, like Tupac and all those guys started showing up.
Yeah. So listen,
he was probably
he was there.
Yeah.
Warren G. But when he got off of there, like 94 was the same time as Hard to Earn and all that shit. You know what I mean? So he was affiliated with Death Row because Dre was his bro. You know what I mean? But then he went to go do his own shit. You see? So, but the thing I'm saying too is, it will be, first of all, like the president of the United States at that time knew who Suge Knight was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So it's not who. That's what I mean. That's how big it was. And now as soon as the movie can drop, or a biopic, or if it's like I think it's probably going to be more like a documentary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it could be a movie too. So I don't know. We'll see, man, because it's actually going down. So we know it's going to happen. And I'm sure, I know I'll be watching it. You know what I mean? And a lot more too. So,
well, speaking of
Snoop,
we'll stay here. I got a couple of Snoop Dogg stories this week. A news anchor named Barbie Bassett was fired for saying faux shizzle my nizzle on live television.
Why did they fire her?
And,
was it the faux shizzle?
I'm sure it was the my nizzle part.
You know why they fired her.
So that I thought that was funny, but the thing that I was talking about,
I don't think that's funny.
What I know Big Suge doesn't smoke weed as much as me or whatever, or this guy.
You said,
but what would you do?
You said,
what would you do for weed if you didn't have any? Because Snoop Dogg, he was in Korea and he couldn't find any weed and was offering people verses for bags of weed. Snoop Dogg, $1 million verse.
Who said that?
He did.
Snoop said that?
Yeah, Snoop Dogg said I was in Korea one time and like I didn't have any weed and I was telling people if you can get, because it's probably harder to get in some places than it is in some other places,
No question.
So he was saying I'll give you vocals for weed if you can find me, and I was like, holy shit,
that's an investment right
there. That's an investment.
Sell that. Yeah.
But think about this. So if it's that scarce, think about the danger behind it.
Yeah.
Like what I told you about when I was in Singapore and how they had all that all this shit. Well, if you smoke this in public, you're going to jail for 6 months. You spit gum out over here, you're doing 6 months. Like this was like, listen, you know what I mean? Dumb shit, man. Peeing in public, urinating, you're going probably a year. Like all this type, right? You aren't going to court, you're going to jail. So Singapore had you like tighter than fish pussy. You know what I mean? Your shit is like, you don't want to make no type of move. You see what I'm saying? This shit is like this.
Yeah, like even my homies.
And I remember.
Oh, go ahead.
I remember being over there. You know what I mean?
We need to get like that to reduce the damn crime rate.
We need to get.
And I was talking to, when I was over there in Singapore. We wanted to smoke and everything. They told us all that shit, so we wasn't doing shit for like 2 days, maybe 3. And they ended up guys from Europe, MTV Singapore. I was like, yo, how do you exist over there? Well, what they did, they said that they rotate them. You know what I mean? Like you'll go over there for 2 months and then the next crew will come. But I'm telling you, and don't have coke or nothing like that.
Yeah.
You got shit shit like that. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? You under the jail. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
But excuse me.
I got a couple more things for music. If you don't have any more for music, I got a couple more.
Huh?
I got a couple more things for music. If you don't have anything.
Go ahead.
So we all know Jay-Z doesn't need to be on anyone's record. Jay-Z's as big as you can get. This and that. But there's a song that is a smash record called "The Shape of You," by Ed Sheeran. And it's like one of the biggest.
By the white dude?
Yeah, it's one of the biggest songs ever. Not ever, but
by that white dude?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Jay-Z was originally asked to be on that song, and he turned it down. So I thought that was pretty crazy because that song.
That's pretty. That's a nice little Easter egg.
That shit would have been even bigger. It would have crossed over. Like, I mean,
I
everyone knows
it
crossed over. But imagine what it would have done with him on it. It would have just been, I don't know. It's a big song, so I can't tell.
That song's international. I don't know.
One thing about
if that would have made a difference.
One thing about making money, right? One thing about making money. So when you make money, you wish to make the most you can make, right?
Yeah.
So when you make the most you can make, like if you're making millions or whatever you're doing, you want to make the most money that you can so you can do what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So ultimately, motherfucker, I don't need to do that shit. Or you get on this record, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, this shit went crazy, it went blown up. Oh yeah, I'm still a billionaire. I'm still chilling. Like what the fuck? Like,
Jay-Z's
like, whatever.
It must be tough being because I was talking to Rex today. He was here recording, and we were talking about this subject.
Shout out to Rex.
And he was like, "Oh, it must be rough, you know, the amount of people who contact him to be on songs in the industry." I'm like, "Nah, it's not him. They don't contact him. They contact his management. His management is who gets 10,000 fucking emails a day from A-list level people. You know what I mean?"
Right. And A-list, B-list, and C-list.
I don't think the B-list and the C-list have the contact to them. You know what I'm saying? But
it goes like this. So a lot of times it's what you know and who you know.
Yep.
So I know because I know people that have asked me, can I get them in contact with managers of certain producers? You know what I mean? And with rappers too. Like, you know what I mean? Straight up. Like, oh, you know who so-and-so's manager is, whatever? Yeah. But they might just be hustlers that get money. You know what I mean? So now they can pull up that money. I know motherfuckers who can get 50, 100,000 plus for like verses. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
me too, for sure, absolutely.
To pay for it. You know them, man? If you know them, like, let me know. Let me know who they are so we can get some verses for them. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean? What are you saying? Do I know rappers who sell verses for that much?
No, that pay that much.
Oh, that pay that much.
I'm saying people that pay that much.
Yeah. You know what? Not to switch subjects on that, but there are rappers, you know, who like the Griselda guys who are like around 30 for these guys who, you know, 5 years ago probably get them for 2, but like they have decided, it seems like, you know, we're just gonna do records with like cocaine rappers. And we're gonna do hood records forever for $25,000 a pop, fucking. That's a good living, man.
Plus,
I mean, if you're doing what you love, you're making money.
On a more cartoonish approach of hip hop.
Oh no,
nah, it's real shit. Little Uzi Vert shows off his b-boy moves during Just to Wanna Rock performance on the Fallon Show. He was on the Jimmy Fallon Show.
Okay.
Right. You know, doing his thing. Sporting a razor-sharp mohawk and Balenciaga jeans, Bad Pluto took center stage the signature feverish Just Wanna Rock dance moves. He's bringing the raucous performance across the the finish line. You can watch the performance online. McVert produced Just Wanna Rock went platinum last month and has held strong on Billboard Hot 100 for nearly 6 months. 6 months. Currently sitting at number 19 on this week's chart. Wow, that's just crazy. No matter what, if you like it, it's you know, you gotta look at shit like that and be like, damn, you know, this dude's blowing with that. I mean, it's what the people like, you know. So there's fan base for that. You know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying.
And the last thing I wanted to say for hip hop, at least for me, was I know Tanya has something, but Ebro made the internet go ablaze this week by saying, "Now I like 50 Cent. This is not a 50 Cent diss. I like 50 Cent. He got huge records. Guy got huge records." Ebro said 50 Cent would wash Lil Wayne in a verses. And I'm just like, does this guy have a calculator? Everyone has a calculator on their phone, bro. Go add up them Lil Wayne hit records, bro. You're gonna start getting in the triple digits on your fucking phone.
Well, he might not just be talking about that. He might be talking about like the live situation.
I don't know about that either.
He might be talking. He might be talking like the way how it is. Like I can tell you. I don't think people thought. Excuse me. I don't think people thought Ja Rule was gonna smash Fat Joe like that in that verse.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I'm saying?
Fat Joe.
I mean, nobody
hurt himself.
Nobody thought that, including Fat Joe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Dude, I don't like Ja Rule really. Like, obviously, I was rooting for Fat Joe, and that I don't really like Ja Rule. I don't hate him anymore like I did when I was younger. But like, I don't like Ja Rule, and I was like, wow, Ja Rule is fucking washing this dude right now.
I never disliked any of them as fans. You know, Joe's my man, but I just said the way that came off.
Yeah,
like he came out like basically the winner on that. You know what I mean?
I feel like Fat Joe is kind of always around guys who let him hold court and never check him on his jokes and never check him on shit. And he got checked on stage by fucking Ja Rule, and it was fucking terrible.
Well, see that part right there, I always have to disagree with because I know for a fact that's not really what Joe is. Like, you know what I mean? And people around him are a lot more thorough than that.
No, I'm not saying they're not thorough people, but I'm saying that
what I'm saying is from being around him and being around him, dudes like that are not around him. So it's not, motherfuckers, if they got a disagreement or whatever, that's the circle. Motherfuckers, that fuck with him. I'm talking about, now as far as the show-wise, they came up, against him. And I didn't think that was going to be the case, but it was. Yeah. Right? But as far as a person and a man, right, whatever, now that circle he fucks with, them dudes is different. Like, them dudes is on some other shit. If something ain't, the people might think that about him, but nah. Even when Pun was around. You know what I'm saying? It was always like, a certain way shit was done or said. Like, even before we did the record together, like, I was always knowing the mechanisms, and shout out to Showbiz and AG and them too, because I was part of that clique too. Where Cats was always kind of more straightforward. The thing was, he became more pop and more popular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Than when he was. Because when I first came to New York, he was straight underground grime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he was fat for real. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Skinny Joe is much more recent. He was fat for, like, let's say 85-90% of that career. He was Fat Joe.
Yeah. but I'm saying he rode that.
Yeah,
he rode that when it was with Pun, because there was these two big dudes like that. So but afterwards, it becomes a health thing too. And as we get older, it ain't no motherfucking joke. So you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But shout out to Joe too, because I got something coming up with him too. Some shit, but that's on the come up. But other than that, man, what else did you have there?
Tell about the Bad Bunny, babe.
Oh. You're like one of those people that's like, oh, tell them the story, and then you tell them the story.
I didn't say anything about the story. I just said, go ahead.
Well, Bad Bunny making history again.
You said tell him about.
I'm sorry, Big Shit.
He said you said tell him about Mad Funny. What'd you say?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said tell him about Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
So you know that the story is gonna be about Bad Bunny.
No, I said Mad Funny.
Oh. Go ahead, babe. What's the
story? Did you hear me?
I didn't hear you.
Did you hear what I said?
You said Mad Funny.
Yeah, that's what I said. You know what I mean?
Heard.
Go ahead.
He's on the cover of Time Magazine, and for the first time in the history of Time Magazine, it is completely in Espanol, in Spanish. So,
Boricua.
Shout out again to Time Magazine. Thank you for inviting us to the party. Shout out to Bad Bunny for making us proud again as being a Puerto Rican individual with many musical talents and representing a lot of different things about a lot of different people. So I think it's a great thing.
But do you know why they did that? Did they say that?
Well, he's like the biggest artist in the world right now. So
I know for the last 3 years he's been the most streamed artist on Spotify. Right. He's gotten his Grammys. Yeah. I mean, he's basically been able to be the artist that he wants to be since the get-go. And he's being non-apologetic to all the critics.
How much did he make this year off concerts? $240 million off touring?
Yes. I think he made the most.
Yeah, he made the most.
He beat Taylor Swift and Harry Styles.
Reported by CNBC this morning.
Uh-oh.
Puerto Rican rapper Bad Bunny is being sued by his ex-girlfriend for $40 million over claims he used a recording of her voice without permission or compensation. So some of
that's that shit I said about that little shit.
That could either be a breakup fight. That could be either breakup fight. She was like, "Yeah, baby, use it," and now she's like, "Yeah, baby, pay me."
No, or it's like she knows that it was her, and he just decided to do that. You see what I'm saying? If it works, it works. Like I did this song with a dude that became very big, and he was just taping a session. He was just taping us talking and everything, and then my vocals were on there, and you know, I was compensated, and then I still, you know, it's a royalty thing shit that we deal with, but I didn't know that's what he was gonna do till I heard the record, and then I was like, oh, okay, this thing's popping. It is what it is. That's what I was talking about earlier. Sometimes
but that's something
do shit.
that you didn't know that you were going to be compensated, but he compensated you afterwards.
I didn't know it was going to be on the record, because once I heard on the record, you know what today is. You got to get compensated. So, you know, you got to do whatever's necessary after that. But I didn't know he was putting it on the record. You know what I mean? So, excuse me.
I can see it both ways. I can see it as we're in a relationship and it's like, yeah, go ahead, use it. That'd be dope. That'll be on a song. And it could also be like what you said. So we're going to see how it plays out in court, but...
I just got one...
Yeah, you say... Go ahead. You say you can see it both ways, like RuPaul, or from both eyes?
I could see both sides of the story being true. I could see what she's saying to be true, and I could see what he's saying to be true. So kind of like
RuPaul. All right.
No, kind of like a Libra and the scales of justice.
Now, listen. This is the reason why I said that, right? So when RuPaul is what, as you know, a person.
RuPaul is a woman.
Is it?
Huh?
Isn't RuPaul a character?
I thought RuPaul.
Okay, hold on.
I thought RuPaul was a man in drag.
What is RuPaul? Who is RuPaul?
He's a drag queen.
Drag queen.
I mean, he's a person, but he's a drag queen.
Okay.
He plays a drag
queen. Okay, RuPaul is a man.
Yeah.
All right.
In drag.
So that's what I'm saying.
When I knew RuPaul, I know him as a woman, so I don't know how he.
Nah, because we were. No, hold on. Let me stop here real quick. Let me just stop here real quick. We were not 100%. We're not calling RuPaul a woman back in the day. He was a man in drag.
Well, he was a drag queen. I'm not saying that. I meant he dressed like a woman. That's what I meant.
This is what I'm trying to say right now.
I didn't know what you were asking me. You know what I'm saying?
No, what I said, all I was saying is, who is RuPaul? So, who is RuPaul? RuPaul is a man.
Yes, RuPaul
That's a person, but it's a man.
Right.
So, who becomes a character, right? That's a woman. You see what I'm saying? So, there's actually a show they have on right now, that he has right now, that he's dressed as like a flamboyant man, but everybody knows him to dress him as a drag queen, right? The reason why I said, because that's how I parallel is saying, oh, you see it both ways, like the man and the woman, because that's him.
Oh,
like he's both.
Like we knew him as dressed up as a woman, but now we can see him as a man and accept that too. Yeah, got it.
But you know, but now today, like it's funny you speak on that. I just saw this thing online. And they were in a store, and this man that was, you know, dressed as a woman with a blonde, long hair and everything. The dude that worked there says, "Sir," he said, "It's ma'am, like with a blonde hair on and skirt, the whole everything." And there's someone right next to him, so you should calm down, sir. He said, "I said it's ma'am," like to the other, you know what I mean? So what I'm saying is today, they have that, like they can identify. You know, as like this dude wants to be identified as a woman, then that's his right. So that's you can do that today. You know, back in the day, he would have said, "I said, ma'am," then he might have caught one to the face piece. So I'm saying, like now, people are like, "Yo, I go to the supermarket. The girl has Aaron on her shirt. She has Aaron on her shirt." And I said, "Oh, that's your name? Well, my name is so and so. I identify as Aaron." That's where we at. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I was saying about that lady that you didn't know she was, that Rachel Dolezal lady, the lady who identified as being black and went and taught African American studies in college.
Well, listen, that's a little different. You know why? Because if I see a man that's trying to be a woman, like I know that.
Yeah.
If I see you come through the door and say, "Hey, I'm black," then I'm gonna be like, "Listen, Colonel Sanders, let me talk to you for a minute." See what I'm saying? That's totally different. You know what I mean? Like this is black.
We have to be careful about that because
what?
Because there are people who appear to be Caucasian and they are black. So
let me tell you something.
My sister looks Irish, and people will talk Spanish about her, and she'll be sitting right there. Like,
does your sister look like Mr. Dion?
Yes, she does. A little bit more.
So hold up. So hold on now. Hold on. This is getting good. So you say your sister looks like Mr. Dion. I'm saying this is the reason why
she has blue, green, gray eyes.
Okay, all right, good. Now this is what I'm filling you in. Is it your sister? Is it your sister?
To the point where she can't even express her own feelings because people are like, "You're not a minority." Like,
is it your sister?
100%. Mom and dad.
So do y'all have similarities?
No, she don't have no big lips. She's a
I'm telling you. I wouldn't know.
She's a petite, 100-pound, 4'11".
But I'm saying
petite.
She don't look like. She don't favor you at all. No way.
I mean, our voices are exactly the same. She don't have a butt.
Okay, well,
like,
see, that's different. That's different. You're right.
She, but I'm saying we do have to be careful because.
Fuck that.
Nah, think of it. Just let me finish this thought, Big Shug. Think of it, but this. You're a black person, all right? You're a black person, right? You look like, or go with my example, right? And you can't even speak your mind because people are gonna think, not only people are gonna think, people do think, and they attack you. Oh, what are you doing? So now you have to defend your own culture that you are, but that other people now. So now you can't speak your mind. Anytime someone can't speak their mind and can't feel like, oh, I have to be in my right. Anybody, because this is America. So that's a problem. That's a mindset.
Let me tell you something. Listen, Harriet Tubman. Let me let you know about something real quick.
I'm just saying.
So
I got albino uncles.
If a person, right? Check this out. If a person walks into the room, right? 9 out of 10 times, if they look like DL, right? One of the assumptions that someone's going to think that they're white, and the other assumption is they could possibly think he's albino if he was black. You see what I'm saying? So what I mean, he's never going to walk into a room and be like, "Hey,
he's going to be white or black."
You know what I mean? Or like me, if I come in the room and you go, "Hey, what's up, shit? What's up, my nigga? Whatever," and I'll be like, "My nigga, I'm white." Right? When you're gonna look at me, you're like, "Yo."
I'm not talking about when you're doing that and you're not that. I'm talking about when you are that and you can't be that. Okay. And that is a problem. What I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. My niece is Italian and Irish.
That's normal though.
50%.
That's normal.
And the other half, she's black and Japanese. And she does not quote unquote look black or Japanese. So
what half is that? Like her feet and legs or the top part, the torso?
Like a DNA and me. Percentages, numbers.
How tall is she?
Not manipulated numbers.
I think she has a lot. She has a lot of. That girl sounds like she has a lot going on. She's probably accepted everywhere.
Hey, do you know what makes me black?
Again, if you look at what she would fit in a box. I'm just saying. There are both sides to every story, but you do have to be careful because there are people that are that and may not quote, look it, and that's something that we need to start looking in all of our cultures.
Do you know what causes me to be black? What makes me be black? Why I'm black?
Your parents were black.
Huh?
Because your parents were black?
No, seriously. Do you even know?
What caused?
You might not even know.
What? Huh? No, I don't know. What do you got? Because I think it's a joke.
What about you? Do you know? Do you know? I'm not gonna say y'all are one person. That's why I'm gonna ask you too. You know why I'm a black person, or why someone would say I am? What makes me be black genetically?
Genetically,
how close your ancestors were to the equator was one thing.
Okay. So let me tell you why. One of the main things is the melanin.
Yeah.
The
melanin. I love the melanin.
You know what I'm saying? That's the first and foremost thing. The melanin is telling that I'm black. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like whether I'm light skinned or, as we know, some of this crazy ass story back in the day. If you were fair, you worked in the house. If you were dark, you worked in the field. You know what I'm saying? So people were hoping to work in the house. It was fucked up slave mentality, but that's really what it was. And came into this century too. Like, the previous century came with that as far as jobs were. There was a club, real quick before I get off this, there was a restaurant in Atlanta, Georgia called Po Folks. P-O Folks, right? And you went to this restaurant, the food was good as hell. But everybody that was a waitress and served you was white. Everybody that was in the kitchen cooking stuff and cleaning was black. I couldn't believe at this stage, this is about 20 years ago, or not a bit more. I couldn't believe at that time, like, damn, this shit is really like this. Then as the time caught up to it, it finally changed to folks, and then that whole shit changed. You see what I'm saying? It's just crazy, like, because mentality, you can still be one way. And I was just explaining the fact that, like, if you did look more white back in the day, you were gonna be in the house. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when we get to the bottom line of it, and we go back to the beginning of this whole story, if DL says I'm black, so people might be like, shit, like, damn, let me find out what's going on. If I come into the spot, you see what happened? You see what happened when they thought DL was black?
The ghost was like, nah, he's not. The ghost like, nah, he's definitely not.
Yo, that shit was like, they threw him black. And they threw him back. When he came in black, they threw his ass back.
That's hilarious.
So,
oh my God.
Well, what I'm saying is, if DL says that, or even you say that, they're gonna be like,
we just gotta get to a point where we're not judging.
Figure it out.
We're not.
Yo, but look. So what I'm saying is, when they say that, they're like, they gotta think about it because y'all said that. If I come into the room and go, hey, I'm white.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers is like, yo, call security. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Something's wrong with this dude. Like I gotta think about it because what you said earlier, being fair, whatever the deal. Damn, this dude, is he or she black? But me, if I come in the room and say, hey, I'm white, I've been white. Yo, dog.
And you know what? You could be. You could have a percentage that you're white.
Let me tell you something. Tanya, I could only be white if you make a couple of bottles of that fucking cinnamon magic you got over there.
You understand what I'm saying? Cinnamon magic. Let me tell you, my family is full of those stories. My cousin is half black, and her last name McLean, M-A-C.
Okay. And let me ask you this question.
That's an Irish last name.
Let me ask you this question.
Scottish too.
What happened?
There's a little bit of cream in that coffee.
Let me ask you this question. What happened is black? The head part or the waist?
Middle part. The middle part right here. That middle part is black.
That's the reason why I say that, because I never allowed, having a couple of kids with white parents, I never allowed the kids to be like, I'm half this and half that. That's why I say that.
More than
because let me tell you, two things I would never let them do or teach them differently was never say, yo, I'm half black, I'm half this. Or I'm mixed. Like I remember one dude said to me, I hate sugar. I got mixed kids like you. I said, mixed with what? You know what I'm saying? That's
he was back in the
Well, so what are you saying? You told your kids.
And then they almost feel
I don't know. Did you? I'm not talking about a percentage, but you didn't tell them I'm from this place and your mom's from this place, and together we make.
No, let me tell you, this is well, you know how that works. So, listen, they know their history. You know what I mean? The kids will know their history, but you also know that once your mother and I had a child, or any black person or white person had a child, they were always considered black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's completely giving up on half of their heritage.
Their culture,
Well, no, not really.
You mean by society, if they had a dip, like they used to say, if your toe was dipped.
Hey, peep this. So when Obama was the president.
Obama president now.
He never said, yo, I'm half black. I'm half white. We all knew it though. We all knew how he came about, but he was the first black. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If Obama came out and said, I identify as white, you think people would have been in an uproar?
Of course.
Then, now
but it's not a lie. It's true. Like, it's true. Like,
what?
That if he's half white, then
he's half white.
Excuse me, if part of his heritage is white, and he identified with that, it shouldn't have been a problem. Like, that's what I'm saying. We need to evolve.
We go back to the beginning. We go back to the beginning of the conversation. It's the melanin too in that situation. Because you got some kids that do have a white parent. And like for instance, okay, let's take Doc Rivers, coach of Philadelphia 76ers, former player from Chicago. He married a Caucasian woman. They had children. The children were very fair. Austin Rivers is one of them, plays in the league. He has Spencer, a daughter.
Sammy Sosa.
His daughters are also married to Seth Curry, right? So what I'm saying is they're all fair, but real fair, like lighter than, probably almost like DL,
Yeah.
It's whatever the dominant gene is.
No, but hold up. Here's the situation. Here we go. They're considered black, but Doc Rivers' mother is white. And so he married a white woman. Then it even thinned out more because the kids is like, when you see the kids, they're like super fair. You see what I'm saying? That's because he probably had more white than black genes wise. You see what I'm saying? And married a white woman. So, and Blake Griffin too, got a little blonde haired kid. You know what I mean? But
you see it all the time now. You see it all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's life, man. It's where we at. Didn't
we watch an episode of what's that elementary school show that
Abbott Elementary?
Abbott Elementary. No, it wasn't Abbott Elementary. It was Lopez and Lopez. The dad's American and the mom is Latina, and he goes to pick up the kid from school, and the kid looks straight up Latino, and the substitute teacher's like, "Are you that kid's father?" Like, I just can't imagine that happening to me. I'll be like, "Are you serious right now?"
Well, hey, you like that?
Speaking of serious right now, there's a meme going around right now, Big Sugar. I think I sent it to you, but it's a meme and saying, imagine being in 1986. Were you out in 1986?
Yes.
All right, so you're out. Big Sugar, 1986. Someone walks up to you and says, someday Roseanne Barr is gonna be so much more beautiful than Madonna. Would you believe it?
No way.
I mean, Roseanne Barr never even looked at like that. But,
no, that's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Right now, shit's crazy for Madonna because all these memes are going. 50 Cent put her on blast. All these memes going around about.
How was it that 50 Cent put her on blast?
Because he was the one who people knew that she had bad plastic surgery, but 50 Cent has 50 million fucking Instagram followers, and he kept posting memes about her.
Oh my god.
So
the danger zone.
So what I want to talk about is just one thing on sports that I wanted to talk about was, I grew up watching baseball around the time I was like 15. The steroid era came in, and everyone was on steroids, as they assumed this and that. But there was one guy who should have been on steroids but wasn't. His name is Ken Griffey Jr.
I was about to say because he's the one.
Yeah. So he spent a lot of his career on the bench because he was injured and didn't do that shit. When he might have came back a little faster, or whatever. But at 53 years old, Ken Griffey Jr. took batting practice in the World Baseball Classic and was hitting home runs farther. 53, hitting home runs farther than these 22-year-old fucking guys, and they're all just in awe of it. And I just thought it was like the feel good moment of the week for sports.
Well, let me tell you something about that. So, Ken Griffey Jr. is no longer in playing pro baseball. So, no matter what, good, bad, or ugly, Ken Griffey Jr. is also, even though I was a fan when he played, he was also he's also not being tested for anything right now.
It's legal in baseball now, isn't it?
Neither are they.
Huh?
It's legal in baseball.
Yeah, they're not testing for that anymore.
No.
But they might in the World Baseball Classic.
No, they're testing for that Windstrom and that trust me, they're testing for that straight steroid shit. I'm talking about
we gotta look that one up.
Yeah, look that up. Because guess what? If they weren't testing for steroids, then we'd be going right back to that whole run. At least
all the Major League Baseball players that were playing for their teams definitely weren't.
Well, we did kind of go right back to that Big Suge, and you know that I'm not saying he's on steroids. I'm a huge fan, but all of a sudden, there's this guy, Aaron Judge, who just happens to be fucking hitting 70 home runs. You know what I'm saying?
But to me, that's bullshit because, right, when Hank Aaron did it, he was skinny than a motherfucker, and he was and he had more home runs than Judge. You see what I'm saying?
Who had more home runs than Judge? Sorry, I was reading the rules here. Who had more? Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron had more home runs like all time. Well, Aaron Judge only played for fucking 6 years. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to be the case when he retires.
Okay. You want to take it there? He had 50 plus homers several times.
Yeah. That's how he took that. So is Aaron Judge. He's had at least 2 times. Aaron Judge has at least 2 times in 5 years.
Okay, but here's the difference. You're saying, here's this guy. He comes along like, I don't know what he's doing. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
When Hank Aaron was doing that, he wasn't the standout. Who was right next to him, smacking home runs like a motherfucker back then? Do you remember? Or do you know?
Hank Aaron, who was standing next to Hank Aaron on the Braves?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying as far as the records and all that. Home runs and shit. He probably was number 2 at the time.
What year? I don't know. Who is it?
Willie Mays.
Oh, wow.
You know
I was thinking, but I thought it was a little too old. Yeah, okay. Nice.
No, Willie Mays and Hank Aaron was the dudes. Them dudes smacking home runs like a motherfucker. But nobody ever assumed they were on shit back then.
Yeah.
But
they were on speed, all that kind of shit.
After that, the era that came after is when people started, like being muscular and doing all kinds of shit. For instance, real quick, our boy Shannon Sharp. You see that boy lately?
Yep. Uh-oh.
Not really,
that
no.
You ever seen that?
I mean, how big? Yeah. He has the best tailor in the world. Yeah.
That dude is jacked. He wasn't like that when he was playing. You know what I mean? You seen Shaq?
No, I'm not saying these guys aren't doing steroids. I don't say that. I'm not saying Aaron Judge is.
I'm not saying
human hormones.
I'm not saying that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're doing steroids. All I'm just saying is the way he came up smacking home runs. They say it's not even harmful to do human hormones, and they say as a man over 50, they encourage it. Sylvester Stallone came out and said that.
Yeah, so
it helps you.
Yeah, it gives you more.
You still gotta have that bat speed. You still gotta have that eye.
You still have to be able to hit the ball.
What happens is they have money, so they can spend it on what I would say is equivalent to like what women do at the spa. Like they start taking things, whether it's natural or not.
What they do at the spa? I don't think
whether it's like an actual facial or like you're doing Botox. So a facial would be something natural,
right.
But Botox would be, doing something. So same thing for men. Like men are now getting calf implants.
Okay.
All
right. Well, hopefully none of these guys are getting calf implants. Right here it says the Major League Baseball reportedly stopped testing players for steroids after baseball's drug arrangement between the league and the MLBPA expired on December 1st, 2022.
No, you have to look for World Baseball Classic.
No, I know they're not going to let you do it there.
Now listen to this. So, you get that 50 game suspension, whatever. So what's going to happen now? If you have that in your system, it's a 50 game suspension first.
If you have what in your system?
Any steroids, whatever. 50 games is the first time. Second time, I think it's the year.
What?
So
for what sport?
No, they're saying right for baseball.
Wait,
baseball.
Not anymore. They're not doing it anymore. That's not true anymore as far as this coming season.
This is what I'm telling you. I'm trying to finish saying what I'm telling you. Let somebody get tested right now and have steroids in their system for however they pull that out. That they're still giving out the 50 game suspension. So that maybe they think maybe it comes as something else. Because if they allow everybody to do it, then it's ridiculous. It'll be ridiculous. And
let's go. Baseball's gonna be real. Well, I love baseball, but it's gonna be even more interesting.
Think about when it was, first of all, baseball ain't stupid. They lost so many. Now they got a pitch clock in and just trying to speed the game up and get some youthful watchers back. But man, baseball, man, they know that was the most money and most exciting time when the home runs was happening. I would tune in to shit, be tuning in because Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa was on that shit tear. Then Barry Bonds comes doing that shit. Man, I'm tuning in. You be at work, you be somewhere else in somebody's car, whatever. Turn that shit on because you knew what was happening with that. Baseball, they had that type of attention since. You know what I'm saying? So, like, people thought that shit always about Big Papi. because he might have hit a lot of home runs or whatever, but he was clutch though. Steroids ain't got shit to being clutch. Yeah. That's like totally different. You know what I'm saying?
Your body doesn't necessarily make you a better player.
Listen to this. So do you ever remember the baseball song I did?
I do remember this song.
This is a baseball song?
I do remember this song.
Don't just say it. It's okay. I'm not gonna be mad at you.
I do.
But I'm gonna tell you something.
Hold on. Go ahead. Don't say the name of the song. Just talk about it.
Yeah. Don't say how big your head is. Just tell me. Yo, but anyway, so I did a song about baseball, but that whole shit, the steroid era and all that, and I feel like, man, to this day, I feel like that song was kept right here in the media because of what it was about.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it by then, but if you play it, like you'll see, like, oh shit, shit I was saying about Bud, the commissioner, and different shit, like, it would have brought attention to that. And so I think that shit was held right where it was at on some real shit. I'm an underground artist, but for real, people hear something, they're like, oh, I mean, I said the whole shit. If you even when we finish talking, you play the record or play the tape, whatever it's on, and you just listen to it. Like it was basically just exposing that on a platform, which some people already knew, but I was just saying, like, yo, this shit is going on and blah, you know what I mean? So, but I'm also, not one of the people that think everybody was on this shit. I just think a lot of motherfuckers were. And in the song I talked about, you made the deal with the devil. Like, also, it's one thing. Listen, you can play 20 years and maybe be a backup towards the end of your career, and possible, most likely, you'll be in the Hall of Fame. Derek Jeter kind of, you know what I mean? Or you could fucking get 100 and 300 something wins pitching, or 80 home runs this year if you do this. And make this contract for $200, $300, $400 million. Right, which is what they were giving out to those dudes, right? But you'll probably never get in the Hall of Fame, and that's the deal they made right there.
Yeah.
All right, sign me up. You know what I'm saying? Yo, baseball went from being a chill. Baseball went from being a chill sport that, it's kind of slow. If it's a pitching duel, it's long. If it's a home run hitting derby, then it's kind of exciting. But, it went from being that to motherfuckers being incredibly muscular. And Albert Bell, after smacking home runs with the bicep, like they started making motherfuckers like pose.
Kind of started, I'm not, I 100% don't think this guy was on steroids, but that kind of all started with Bo Jackson. All that muscles in baseball.
But we know he wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
He was luckily, Bo Jackson existed, his career existed just before all that stuff hit sports.
Let me tell you something. So, if you know Bo Jackson,
fuck yeah.
But you don't know Bo. But anyway, if you know Bo Jackson, so who was his nemesis? And not really his nemesis.
The Boz?
This dude. Yes. So the Boz.
He knows Bo.
I know Bo.
The Boz, then you would know that the Boz was heavy on steroids. That's what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was.
And that was that same.
That's true. Yeah. I thought he was more like on coke.
Nah, that's why in college when they weren't testing like that, he was all that until you played ball, right? And he embarrassed him. But when he got to the pros, he wasn't shit because then that you couldn't take that no more. So he got exposed.
Bo exposed him in the pros. I don't know if he did it in college as well. But in the pros, that was the big matchup. Everyone was waiting for the Boz and Bo, and then Bo Jackson ran him over.
No, actually, that was in college.
Well, they might have done it in college as well, and this was the rematch in the pros. I'm not sure.
No. Yeah, you got to go check that out. So, because I used to watch all that. So the first time he ran his ass over in college, then the Boz never became that type of pro.
I thought he was never on the Seahawks, the Boz.
Yeah, but he was never good. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. It's there might be a college one too that I'm not aware of. So I'm not saying that's not what happened, but whatever in the pros, Boz was the name he brought from college. He was never good. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm watching it here on the Raiders versus the Seahawks. I'll look the other one up. But yeah, Bo Jackson, man, wow, he was fucking. You ever watch
on top of
thighs, and plus legs?
There was another dude named Tony Mandarich. He was big as hell, diesel, white dude, about 6'6", 3-something, and he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated back in the day, and he was real bulked up and muscular. So on the cover it read, "The Incredible Bulk," right? This dude had no shirt on and nothing, and probably the first time they probably really had an offensive lineman like that, like doing that picture thing, whatever.
Yeah.
He looked cuckoo. He looked cuckoo as fuck and everything. He gets to the pros, he's ass, right? Because now you can't take all the shit you was taking. You know what I mean? So he's actually out of the league, I believe, for a minute. But then he gets this. I guess he obviously could play offensive line. So he got himself together and got off of them shits and worked out with training, got himself together and came back and basically played a few years, like, you know, normally. So obviously he must have been already good. But man, it's just so crazy that once Sean Merriman's another first game, 17, some shit, crazy, wild in college. Couple of years, shit caught up to him because now you can't take the shit no more. And then guess what? If I put muscles this big, and got muscles all over my body, all of a sudden, I still got the same brain and the same soul, right? So and frame. So when the muscles are gone, I still, if I'm a dog, I'm a dog. So you know, if I'm a big muscular dog, then yeah, I'm a dog. But if I'm not a dog and I just got the muscles like a dog, take them shits away, I'm a cat. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what happens to those motherfuckers. You know, you start hearing injuries that you never heard before. Torn pectoral muscle. You know what that is? That's like a lampshade.
Yeah, I know what that is actually.
That's like your pec muscle tearing and rolling up like a fucking lampshade. That doesn't happen to normal people. How many times they say, "Hey, Tanya, where's DL?" Oh, he has torn pectoral muscle. Get the fuck out of here. That shit happens in that football and them dudes is using shit because the shit's too big for your frame. So it's just got to pop off. You know what I'm saying?
I can see it.
Anyway, while we talking sports, even though we're on that sports a little something, we're from the demographics of Boston. Shout out to Boston Bruins, still got the best record in the league, still on pace to win, to have the record, I think, which is 63 games. We'll see, but it's still been an amazing year for them. They had a whack-ass loss last night. Celtics currently 2 in the East. They also got a whack-ass loss last night, but still.
Something happened. One of their players was kicked out of the game. One of their players was kicked out of the game last night or something. Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart.
Was ejected, but it was just kind of par for the course type shit. He just got kicked out for saying some shit too.
Oh, okay.
That's just two fouls, two technicals get you kicked out of the game anyway.
Oh, nice.
Or if you say something that's egregious, you know, or smack fire to somebody. So there's a few ways.
You
get
say
put
something
out,
that's egregious.
Or attack the fans.
I want to know what kind of craziness are they talking.
Well, they say some crazy. One dude got Luka Doncic got suspended. Got thrown out the game or fined for doing like this, like to the refs, like y'all get paid. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, like do your job. He was basically telling them do your job.
No, he's saying you calling a dumbass call like that, you must be getting paid. You see what I'm saying?
Like he's dirty.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? So
well, first of all, the NBA don't want nobody remembering when that happened.
Yeah. You remember Donahue wrote that book. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like the baseball song I did. People don't want you to hear.
What's the title of the song?
The bad things.
Huh?
What's the title of the song?
Shit, you know something, to be honest with you?
He forgot.
I just think it's MLB. You gotta look it up.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what it is. For some reason, I thought it was on this album.
Two Brains got it.
Some major shit. I mean, it was a few years back, but still. I just remember, and someone said, finally, like, critics were like, yo, someone made a baseball song. It's actually good. Like, you know, it's like, who's gonna rap about basketball, baseball? Look, you never heard a song at all that was like somebody rapping about baseball. Go pull that shit up.
I will pull it up and I'll send it to you, Big Sugar.
Another one?
So about 10 years ago, I was going to Yankee Stadium and
right.
I just started directing videos, and I'm like, I'm gonna film a video in Yankee Stadium. So I wrote a song with all baseball puns.
Well, see, no disrespect to you. I'm just talking about somebody who's known as a rapper.
Oh, I'm not known as. Oh, I didn't know I wasn't known as a rapper.
Mr. DL got mad albums. He's not known as a rapper.
Hey, DL.
Yo,
that's real shit. I don't know anybody. I know you can rap and stuff, and whatever, but I don't know anybody who knows you as a rapper.
That ain't true. You know mad people who know me as a rapper.
Who?
Here we go.
Term, Rex, Cypress Hill.
Yo,
Tonic.
them dudes never.
I'll take Cypress Hill knowing me as a rapper off anyone you know knowing me as a rapper.
Let me tell you something. None of those people, and they all hear me. None of those people have ever said around me that DL is a rapper. So I'm just saying, if they think that and they tell you that, I hear you. But I'm saying around me, they've never, if anything, talk about you doing videos. You mean DL who shoots videos? No one had ever said to me. I'm the one that said, well, he rapped on a few things that I know. You know what I'm saying? I've heard none of them people. So that's I'm just speaking how I see it. You know what I mean? Cool. If they feel like you're a rapper, or like I can't even go, it's not like I'm gonna go, it ain't even a disrespect thing. But me, myself, I would never have said DL's a rapper. I'm gonna come to you first because of how I met you. You brought me music, and then you had these joints, and then you said you rhyme a little bit. You know what I mean? And then that was it. That's all I knew. Next thing I knew, you was doing videos too. So I was like, okay, this dude can do all that. But I never looked at you as like saying this dude was a rapper. I didn't know that. So if they do know that, cool. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's all good.
I mean, Big Shook, there's songs on YouTube with 500,000 views of me rapping.
Of me?
Of me rapping. So I'm just.
I don't know what. You got to tell me what they are.
I can send them to you. I'll send them to you.
What is one with 500,000? Because I don't even got one with 500,000.
2012. A song called 2012. Let me see how much it has. I'll see how much it has right now.
You got if you got because I don't have 500,000. So
that's what I'm saying right now. Onyx.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Sorry, it has 331,000.
Okay, how many years is that? 2?
10.
2 years?
10. That was 10 years ago.
10 years? Okay, well that could be cool. But listen.
Well, yeah, remember though, when I started directing music videos, I stopped rapping. I didn't put music out for 10 years, and then I just recently came back 2 years ago, and I'm not even come back as a rapper, just a producer. Really.
I can go to 10 producers in hip hop and ask them if they know you're a rapper, and they're not gonna know. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. Who are these producers? I don't need a producer. I'm Mr. DL.
I'm not saying that you need.
I don't care.
You got it wrong. You got it wrong. You got it wrong. I'm talking about you saying you being listed as a rapper, and you don't need no producer. You don't need a producer. You don't need a producer.
What was it?
What I'm talking about?
Rappers in Lowell.
Yeah, but that's just
what? What you say about Lowell?
Dude, I have High Times magazine top 50 weed songs.
Oh, your man got raps in there too, and I don't even really know. I only know some people who know him as a rapper.
Who's that?
Slim. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he don't have a song on there. He got weed songs though. Definitely, he don't song.
I didn't say that. On High Times, he got some shit though.
Nah, he might have something on their website or.
So listen, what I'm trying to tell you. Right? Listen, what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not one that's into making up shit. I'm just talking about motherfuckers that I know who rhyme and produce wouldn't tell me that, this rapper named DL. That's just not how it's known on my side. So I don't. That's what I'm speaking on. You know what I'm saying? Even when I was trying to get videos done on the record label, it ain't like they said, you mean DL that raps? Like people didn't say that to me. The dude who does the video. That's how I know it. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Be one of those things where you do mad shit. So
I will say this. I did take 10 years off for rapping. I did take 10 years off for rapping, but I will say I was one of the biggest weed rappers. I was that. 10 years ago, 12, 15 years ago, I was that 100%. That's why I was on stage at the Boston Freedom Rally. That's why I'm on tour with Cypress Hill. That's why I'm honest with that.
Let me tell you something. So you could have been the biggest weed rapper, but would you say, huh?
I said I wasn't the biggest weed rapper, but I definitely was on that list. Absolutely. For sure.
Okay, but who's the other ones? Who's the other ones you would say is weed rappers?
Devin, at the time, Devin the Dude was there.
I feel Devin the Dude on some other shit. There's a couple of people I would think as weed rappers, and you know the number one would be the same as you. Who you would probably think is number one.
That's Snoop Dogg, Cypress Hill, Redman. Those guys are a top tier. Those guys are another tier.
That's
you know what
and you know what? I think they probably rap more about weed. Like some motherfuckers, like Slim, DJ Slim to me, his whole shit about rapping about weed.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's a little different. Like some dudes rap about weed. Like me
it's
personally.
Like rapping about trap. It's trap music. It's the same thing.
It's like me personally. I'm not going to you. I'm not sitting here having a conversation where like saying that I know you as a rapper because I don't. Like, you know what I mean? I do now because a few things we've done over the years. I looked at it more as like you said, okay, I'm going to produce this, but okay, over here, I'm going to rap. Okay, here, I'm going to shoot.
Well, you got to remember, so with me, I started as a producer. I started as a DJ, really. Started as a producer.
Right.
Then, like my beats were whack. You feel what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, no one wants to rap to my beats.
They were whack. They were whack because you thought they were, or people said they was.
No, just you know, no one really said that, but they weren't on the level to the people I was trying to give them to. Let's put it like that. Like you know what I mean? So I started rapping to the beats. I put out a bunch of albums. I was fucking chosen for Unsigned Hype and Lost. I was the top 4 members for Unsigned. This just as rapping. I produced all my own music, obviously. Then, I went. Let's see. I started directing videos in 2011, and I stopped putting out music for 10 years. So yeah, those people might know me as a video director over being a rapper. But to say I don't have shit, I'm like, yo, I got numbers, bro. I'll show it to you.
First of all, nobody stood here and said you didn't have shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody said that.
They did.
For you to sit here and say that's bullshit. What I said is I don't know you as a rapper. Yep. I don't know people that come to me and say DL's a rapper. I don't know nobody to say I got to get a feature from DL. So I'm saying that's what I said. I didn't say you don't have shit because I know mad motherfuckers who do beats and rhyme. And I known as rappers either. And I know that for a fact that motherfuckers is pretty nice. You know what I mean? And guess what? You're on a record with me. And if I didn't think that your shit was nice on there, I wouldn't be on there. Why would I be on there? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to say you can't rhyme. I'm just saying that I don't know you as.
If you're listening.
What you're saying is when you think of Mr. DL in your mind, you think of him as a producer?
No, I'd say videographer. Yeah, I 100%. I'll be real with you guys. In 2023, in 2015 to now, I'm known as a videographer. That's what people know me as. That's what I'm known as. Illmatic Films. Right. That's what I'm known as. Absolutely, for sure.
Right.
I'm not going to argue that. That's what I'm known as.
If I say, hold up, keep your train of thought. Like for instance, if I say, what's that dude? Papa D. That's from
Brick Records.
I say to him, this dude tomorrow. Yeah, I got some shit from DL. Some shit from DL. This dude, the first thing he's going to think about is like, so what he giving you a video package?
Nah,
you see what I'm saying?
Those guys have asked me to do shit back in the day, but I didn't
rap.
Yeah, dude, you know how many fucking.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something, DL. Let me tell you. You say Papa D asked you to rap.
Yeah.
Papa D.
Yeah.
Not anyone else up there. Him, just him. Because there's more dudes.
Okay, I thought you could tell me his real name off air, but yeah, I think.
Papa D is the Brick Records and what was it? Traffic, Brick, and
Landspeed.
What's the other one? Who?
Was it Landspeed?
Yeah, so all those were collected. And it was all different dudes.
Yeah.
But Papa D had part of Brick Records and there was another fat guy, kid. Sorry if I forgot your name. You still my man, right? But those dudes had Brick. And a lot of times they would have this perception of certain people trying to rap. So it's so-and-so trying to rap. Not like him personally, I can't say those other guys wouldn't have said stuff because like even Czarface, my man Esso and that. Yep. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people didn't look at like them at first. Like this is a kind of a fad type of group, but dudes actually became good, and then he did his thing with Inspector Deck and created a whole nother persona. You see what I'm saying? But
is that still on Brick?
I'm not sure. Like it probably is. Yeah. Because with Brick is about selling. Like you have something that sells. Like if your commodity is going to sell, they're going to always be because they can keep selling it.
Yeah.
Like my rap, for instance, my shit I've done on there, you're going to keep selling that shit, right? And then what do? X amount of years down the road, you do a box set, right? With still like pops off like that. The 20th anniversary of it, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So all your music's on Brick?
Nah, you remember?
I know this is, but no, this isn't.
One is what's the one with got House in the name?
This one.
Oh, the Street Camp album is on a different
Yeah.
What is that label with Chuck? Oh man, do you know what I'm talking about? Raekwon was on there.
Oh, not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, so I was on Payday, as you know that.
Yeah.
Brick, Traffic, EMI, and I can't even think of what Street Champ was on because that's another label. But Raekwon was on that label too, and a few others. And Traffic, I came up saying me and on that hoop. My first album was on Traffic, and I came out with what's his name? They used to do the end of the year rhyme.
Oh, Mad Skills.
Yeah, Mad Skills. So one part of the flyer said his album, the other one was mine.
I think he still does it.
Graph.
Yeah, I know Graph. I don't know him personally, but I know who you're talking about.
Right.
Mad Skills. I believe he still does that. The thing you're talking about, the year wrap up.
Well, that Uncle Murder kind of took over. You know
maybe that's you're right. Yeah, you're right. Because I know I saw one in it. Now that you say that.
Yeah, Uncle Murder. But yeah, like I said, I've been on a few labels. The first one though was EMI. You know what I mean? Because that was the singing joint and that other shit, and that's when I had the original Whispers mustache. You know, the big stash.
The Tom Selleck.
I got one coming back, but not like that. But still, you know what I'm saying? I'm back in the stash game. But yeah, man, I've been on a few of them things. But like I said, nothing like. Trust me, we listen to music, and me and my son and I, Tremaine, shout out to you. And trust me, this shit is official. Shit you be spitting is official. I don't got no reason to have to say that just to say you know that. So, but still, I'm just saying the perception is never like first and foremost. And even with motherfuckers in my circle, where like even other rappers that we know, they more like DL that do the videos.
Yeah, like even now, like I'll still rap, but I'm not rapping full albums. Like I'll be on one song here, one song there.
Yeah, because someone's not gonna tell me that I got this song with like 4 joints with DL on it or whatever, and I'm gonna look at some motherfuckers might be like, oh, for real? But I know more than like I don't even think a few other cats that we both know don't look at it like that. I think they know that you can rap, but they don't look at it like that because what do people do every time they get on the show? Motherfuckers like, yo, we need to do videos. That's just their perception.
I'm 100% like that just because of that. Like you don't think Rock Ness Monster knows I rap? No, I produced and rapped on songs.
I think it's also like when you have different careers. Like people.
Let me tell you about Rock Ness.
Knew me in my marketing job.
Hold on,
hey, I gotta hear this. Let me tell you about Rock Ness.
I gotta hear this.
Hold up. Let me tell you about Rock Ness Monster. Who you talking about? Rock Ness that had to let the show go an hour before he realized who he was talking to?
Yeah, motherfucker had to put his glasses on. That was so funny.
I'm just trying to say, yo, this motherfucker, listen, you would have went to jail for 15 years. Yo, it wasn't him. Oh, shit, it was you? Come on, man. Nah, fuck.
That's so
that
funny.
was hilarious. When you just told me that, I was just thinking when he said, the way he even did that, like, oh, shit. Oh, like, dude, we only been talking for about fucking an hour.
Yeah.
But, yo, I'm just saying, that was just my perception. Doesn't mean that, like, some dudes want to rap, and they just can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, when I get my numbers, I the numbers from Spotify monthly, I know that these motherfuckers are listening, got Suge channels, because that's what they're listening to. That's the 50,000, 6,000 people a month. So that when I pop up in a movie or whatever, I actually, got this movie thing popping up now. I can tell you on air. But when I pop in the movie, I go, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? He is active. Well, I've been in a few prominent movies now. Like, you know what I mean? Or Suge's doing acting. Like Talib Kweli said on his show, he tried his hand at acting. You know what I'm saying? I ain't tried my hand at acting. I've been in 7 to 8 movies. So each time they call and it works out, I'm in it. That's what I mean. And do I think I can do that good? Yeah, I think I do that pretty good. But some people say, in the neighborhood I live in, you got a whole bunch more of these people that'll be like, yeah, he's in a bunch of movies. He's an actor. He's an actor. You know what I'm saying? I'm like either my son's father, Tremaine's dad in this neighborhood, or he's an actor. Or you get the few kids that drive by. You know what I mean? Or you get a few people that ride by here and there with the shit on full blast, playing Suge shit. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, people got their perceptions, man. That's all that is there. I didn't realize, man. We just been like kind of chattering.
No, we good.
But yo,
I'm
gonna tell you what though.
I think it's that time of the week.
I think it's that time of the week too. But S to this T to the U, PID,
as
stupid as hell. I like that. Hold on though a minute, man, because it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stupid information over here on my desk.
Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. Shout out to all the listeners on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music. Come over to YouTube. It's been working.
Shout out to all my Call of Duty
homies.
Oh, Call of Duty.
Right.
she got a gang. She got a gang on there.
Yeah. Who's your gang? Who's
my
your gang
boys
now?
and some of my girls that be saving me. Hey, you gotta learn. I'm doing pretty good though. I'm up. I'm like around 35 kills a game when I'm on.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So listen. This week, stupid as hell. Is a man. Florida man wearing a plastic bag as a t-shirt accused of running from deputies. Wow. A Florida man placed the bag over his head and wore it as if it were a t-shirt while a deputy was chasing him, according to the Flagler County Sheriff's Office. Deputies said originally attempted to arrest 25-year-old Anthony Mobley around 2:30 a.m. Wednesday when they received an alert that a vehicle that was reported stolen out of Eustis was in Flagler County. Authorities said they arrived at the Shell gas station on Boulder Rock Drive and saw Mobley get fuel, but when they attempted a traffic stop on Interstate 95, he sped away. Stop sticks were successfully used in Buttle, and when the vehicle was no longer operable, Mobley ran out into the woods, the wood line, according to a news release. Records show a perimeter was set up, but deputies were unable to find a man running around with a plastic bag as a t-shirt. They did, however, find his clothing. Deputies said they issued to be on the lookout for Mobley, posted his picture in social media, which prompted tips from the public. Mobley was spotted on State Road 11 around 11 a.m. Wednesday, and the perimeter was set up once again, but deputies were unable to find Mobley in the heavily wooded area.
It's very sneaky.
Around 1 p.m. Thursday, deputies said they received a report a man wearing only boxers was walking along Road 11, along State Road 11. Deputies said Mobley was carrying a white bag over his shoulder, but when he saw the authorities, he ran deeper in the woods with his boxers. Wow, that must be some shit. And put the bag over his head to wear it as if it was a t-shirt. Body camera videos show Mobley was lying in the standing water when deputies caught up to him. So he tried, I think he put on a plastic bag and laid in the water, they wasn't going to see him. Or probably see some movies where they don't get the scent in the water.
Yeah.
Because why is he laying in standing water? So this week, stupid as hell, was Mr. Stupid Mobley. Anthony Mobley is this week stupid as hell.
And let me that's the character. That's the character's name in the Jungle Book, Mowgli.
Yeah, we're laughing now, but he might need some help. So I hope he gets the help he needs.
Hope he gets a
shirt.
He
recovers goes to rehab, whatever the case may be.
Let me tell you.
Join us back in society.
This man was laying in still water in his boxers in a plastic
shrooms. He's 25.
And he was laying in still water in angel position. Come on, think about that shit.
Maybe angel dust. He was on angel dust.
Yeah, maybe.
He thought he probably something.
He probably was on some shit where he was like, "Oh, yo, they can't see me. I'm invisible. You know, motherfucker keep telling this shit over.
The invisible plastic bag cloak.
Yo,
that was good.
I was walking by before we move on. I was walking by the store, and then I seen this shirt. Can you see that shirt?
The Black Panther? I can't see it. Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah, right. So you got it, D. I was like, damn, the Black Panther. I had to go and get it. Shout out to Chadwick. Boseman?
Yep, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, shout out to Chadwick. Rest in peace. But damn, you know, when I thought of him and I thought of the whole movie, because y'all saw the movie, right?
Not the second one. The first one we saw a bunch of times.
I didn't see the second one either. Yeah. Did you see the first one?
Oh yeah, a bunch of times, yeah.
Did you see it at home or did you see it in one of those comfortable chairs they have now?
We saw it in the theaters.
We saw it in the theater twice. We saw it in the theater twice because remember we went with the kids, my nephews? So we thought in the theater twice and then at home at least once. So 3 times at least, yeah.
But was it in the theaters that had those big comfortable lazy boy chairs?
Oh yeah.
Yo, them shits. Yo,
AMC.
do you know them chairs?
Yeah, I have fallen asleep on quite a few movies.
Yo, trust me. I haven't fell asleep. Phil has, but I like, yo, when that shit cocks back, first of all, one thing about the movies, I don't give a fuck how big that box of popcorn is. You will eat every piece of that motherfucker till it gets to the bottom.
Yeah.
I can come over there right now in the studio and sit a big ass giant box of popcorn on the table over there at y'all's crib, and ain't nobody eating the shit. You might take a few bites. Let me put that in between people when the movie's on that screen and you're in front of them shit. That shit be like this. You cartoon. I swear it. And then you be meeting each other's hands and shit at the end.
Like, oh.
You cut a hole in it.
Yeah. You be like, hey, for real, put a hole in it.
You not stupid.
Yo. Yeah, you might get the butter and salt in the wrong place. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, right, the crazy shit is I was talking about that when I was like, you will eat that popcorn until both y'all are basically getting the last 2 kernels apiece. Because
that's the perfect example of not eating in front of the TV because you're not looking at your food. So you just eat whatever.
Then you drink. Then you drink the crumbs.
When you go in that movie,
you might get the candy.
You go in that movie theater. When you go in the movie theater, get that warm popcorn and push that fake ass butter to come all over that.
You get the Slurpee.
So what do you do? This is what we do. We get the big popcorn, and then we get an extra bucket so we can take half the popcorn out, then hit it with the butter, then put the second half of popcorn on top, then hit it with the butter. You see this stuff?
Y'all doing that? Y'all doing the? I was about to say y'all doing the big girl and big boy shit over there. Yeah,
I just do people who like to eat. Shit.
Oh, now you know what I do? I put the butter all on there.
You put a little salt
and shake it up with the one over it.
You forgot to say that part. I shake half of it and then I shake the other half, and it's all with salt. And then I like to put peanut M&Ms, so I get a little bit of salty, sweet, crunchy.
Let me tell you, I don't give a fuck how much popcorn.
Where we going to the movies?
Hey, no, the movie is an hour and a half long, 2 hours, right? That popcorn is gone in the first 20 minutes. That shit is gone in the 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That shit ain't. I never had no popcorn towards the middle of the movie.
No. She likes to see all the previews, so the popcorn is gone by like this time the movie starts.
By then, you start buying shit.
Belly, so it's okay.
Hey, you start buying shit you don't buy at the movies. Yeah. Hey, go get us 2 hot dogs.
The popcorn's not for the movie. The popcorn is to entertain your mouth while the movie starts.
Hey, you start buying extra shit that you know you get at the movies. Yo, go get a bag of M&Ms and 2 hot dogs. The fuck you talking about? We never eat hot dogs at the movies. You know, do you?
Nah, hell no.
That's that thing.
Popcorn, M&Ms, maybe Twizzlers, definitely Slurpee.
I ate pretzel bites. I've eaten pretzel bites at the movie.
I've eaten nachos.
No.
Yo, when I was a kid, yo, first of all, you brought your snacks and shit to the movies.
Facts.
You wasn't buying them shits is way too high to buy. That's number one.
Hell yeah.
And they sold hot dogs and Cokes and all that bullshit. And you be like, damn, I'll never be able to buy that shit, right? so when I got older, I would buy shit just because. Like, I'd be like, yo, me 3 hot dogs and a large root beer. You know what I mean? I'd be doing, yo. And you know what? Back in the day, I don't know if you guys, it was the same. The floor in a movie theater was sticky as shit. Shit was horrible.
Which one you went to? Yeah.
Yo, them shits was sticky, and you know rats lived in that motherfucker deep. It seemed like 1 million sodas was spilled on that guy.
I never imagined the rats.
Yo, I'm just trying to tell you, right? Now it's like getting these big lazy boy chairs and feet up and big old pop. Man, come on. One day we'll do the movie thing, right? We'll do the live movie shit. Like, we'll watch it.
Oh, hell yeah.
We'll be whispering to this shit. Yo, this shit is kind of good. Be quiet. Hey, yo, once again, it is the incredible Rhyme Animal. No, Todd, you want to know their socials? We'll tell them. Hi, I'm Big Shug.
Listeners, what are your socials?
I'm Big Shug. You can catch me on unfortunately, I meant to say this. I might have said it, but my Facebook account got hacked. Yeah. Oh, right? Yeah. And shit was terrible because it was like, first of all, the thing that I'm best or I'm happiest about is how I'm not consumed by my phone like that. You know, but it is whack in the beginning because it's over 5,000 people, friends, and all these pictures and memories come up and all that stuff. And like in the blink of an eye, the shit is going. Like, you know what I mean? Because somebody's messing with your shit for what? Like, you know, and now I even heard that sometimes after 30 days, that shit will pop back up because you could have been suspended for that long, right? Nobody knows, right? But the fact is that, you know, I'm just letting people know. Because if you go on Facebook, and I heard this happen to some on Instagram too, yo, be prepared, man. And be prepared for that bullshit because it can happen. And if you're really married to your phone like that, then it kind of fucks with you. Me, it didn't really get me like that. It just was like, okay, well, you know, I waited a few days to see if I could retrieve it. You know, shout out to Mr. DL trying to help me to do that. And shout out to Carmine, you know, because I'm still not connected to the big shows, so I got to find out how to do that. You know what I mean? But, you know, I'm just telling you guys, man, don't, you know, be so consumed by it and be aware there's motherfuckers who don't got nothing to do. The same people that call me 10, 15 times a day and try to sell me life insurance. Yeah. Right? That shit feels good, right? I said, oh, what you calling for? And now, mind you, I will say some crazy shit to them before I hang up, or usually they'll hang up. And some will say, fuck you, and talk shit back. So they're the ones calling me about what to do for my final expenses, right? You know what I'm saying? You never got those calls when you were younger. You get older, you got motherfuckers like, and everybody sounds the same. Hello, this is Jonathan Wilson. And you this is Jonathan Wilson. And I'm calling you about your final expenses. And I'm like, yo, dude, do you have a broomstick up your ass? Like, you know what I'm saying? Then they start talking shit. I'm like, come on, man, you the one calling me. See what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you know. Anyway, on my dark days, oh, shit. It's been real. Episode 62 is in the books, and it was a great one. We didn't have any guests this week, but we talked about some shit, and I hope you had a good time with us.
Hell yeah, that was fun.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Remember, excuses have no purpose, so don't make them.
Don't make them.
As we grow, we glow. And today, also, we shout out Premier's birthday. We did right? That. Yeah. We did that 2 weeks ago, but I'm just giving another shout out to my man, 100 grand. And today, we're all Black Panthers.
He's like a little kid. He love it.
You know what I mean? Hey, you know what? Matter of fact, I got the shirt from somewhere where I would never buy a shirt.
Oh, where's that?
What was the old school? Y'all probably know. So what became a dinosaur for the spot I used to go to get kind of different kind of shit plus cassettes and singles and shit. Your era, it was probably more prominent, but I was part of it. They sold records, they sold CDs, cassettes,
They had one in downtown Boston, Newbury Street.
And they would sell
Newbury Comics.
And they would sell.
No. Music.
Huh?
Newbury Comics.
No music.
You're right. He's right.
Comics? Oh.
He's right.
Nice.
Yeah, he knows. They sold. They always carry my shit. Like the motherfuckers always carry my shit, and they would sell shirts, other weird shit or whatever. And I was walking by one. I said, "Oh, y'all still got these? What about?" Because it was big for going to get the physical shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the CDs or go get the albums or whatever. And I said, well, "What do you sell now?" Like there's still something you can get big musically, right? But then they had the shirts, and I was like, "Yo, I got to get the Black Panther." You know what I mean? So I'm actually working on that now too. New shirts that are going to be available on the Gangstar website real soon. Big Shook Church. Also, we have a 25th edition coming out. I think it's either Moment of Truth or Hard to Earn. One of those. But I'll fill you in on details. It'll only be like something that all that merchandise goes on sale for the week.
Yeah.
I think there's some coming. Yep. And then, you know, we keep it moving, but they're going to have Big Shook shit soon as well. A lot of things are going to be happening, man. So, well, listen, peoples, thank you for coming through. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Man, Big Shook Stash. With DL, some people might think he's black. And
some people might think he's black and don't think he raps.
No, he's
just like I'm black from Persia. Or Colombia. I'll take the compliment.
Yeah. When I used to live in Liberty City in Miami, it was all black neighborhood, and people used to be like, "You're Cuban, right?" I'm like, "Nah, bro, I'm whitest guy you're ever gonna meet ever."
Yo,
they're Cubans that look like you with the light eyes. Look at what's his name, Pitbull.
Yo, like whenever I have Pitbull, you crazy. That's like saying a basketball player, "Yeah, you look like basketball. You like Larry Bird."
I didn't say he looks like him. I said they have light eyes. Okay, that's a difference.
I know.
There's a difference.
Hey, imagine that those. Hey, DL, you'd be like when the shit went off, like, so I look like Larry Bird.
No, like girl comes up to you in a club. She's like, "You look like you're so cute. You look like this basketball player I like." And be like, "Oh, really? Who?" Larry Bird.
Again, I didn't say you look like him. I said you share the same light eyes.
This woman that I know is a family friend. And her husband does have some semblance, you know, not all the way, some semblance. But she said, I said, well, who's your husband? Because I would go to basketball games and be coaching and shit, but locally. And she said, oh, you know, his name's so and so. He kind of looks like Larry Bird. I said, oh, okay. So then I met him, and then I was like, oh, okay, because she was saying that. She was saying you look a little bit like Larry Bird. He's Larry Bird. Like, yeah, you know, he was insulted. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell they're still married. But you could tell she was like, damn, you could have told him anybody else but Larry Bird. You know what I mean? So it's crazy.
Maybe his wife thinks Larry Bird is.
Oh man, that's
and once upon a time, when I was younger, women used to think, oh, my girlfriend thinks you're hot because you look like Mr. T. I'm like, come on, man.
Mr. T.
You hate that. I love Mr. T. I got so much love for Mr. T. Yeah. Every time you say that.
Mr. T was my man's back then.
He's the man.
Now I'm saying, you know, now he's older, but it's cool. They have brought it back for a minute on that commercial. You know what I mean? I'm old as shit, but I'll still beat your ass. Like that, come on. That shit is crazy, man.
That's the character.
That's like bringing back like, I don't know. Hey, that's like in Japan, they still have statues of Colonel Sanders. I'm like, yo,
I'm like, you had a group of mixed up guys, ex-military on missions. Like, I respect.
Yo, I saw. So they pulled up a little thing of Mr. T, and it was like, they said he was on a talk show, and they said, "So what is your real name?" Like, I want to think it was Letterman or one of them dudes, and he was like, my name is Mr. T. We said, what's your last name? He said T. He said, what's your first name? He said Mr. So the crowd's laughing, you know, and he's like, I changed my name to Mr. Because people had a problem with calling grown men boy. So I knew they never had that mistake with me. They just called me Mr. See, he could talk like that back then. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like how Mike Tyson's super chill, but I see some shit from him where I'll rip his fucking heart out. He says, I'm the most ruthless champion they ever had in life. I'm crazy. I fucking murder him. I'm like, this dude has some crazy. He has some crazy. I know. Remember that he
has a little anger.
He says to one guy, "I'll fuck you till you love me."
Yeah.
I was like, oh. He was the only guy who could get away with shit like that back then. But now he's the most fun-loving, like chill dude.
Yeah, but peaceful.
There's some more footage that just came out a couple weeks ago of him just like he's just working out with his trainer or whatever. And man, you could just see it still, the power and every fucking punch, how his whole body stops. And his arm just goes, and the guy he's covered head to toe in pads.
Why is Mike Tyson that old, right? And he smokes weed on his podcast.
Yeah.
And when he gets into that chill mode, starts talking 7:30. Why the motherfuckers better be scared to be on that show? Yeah. You got to see it.
Yeah, no, I watch it because you see it in his eyes. His eyes kind of like.
He said to one dude, he's smoking. You don't know what he's smoking. Plus, he said he do shrooms sometimes. Right? Yeah. He said
microdoses.
That motherfucker said. He said to this one dude, "Yo, who the fuck are you? You ain't shit. You ain't fucking shit." Like, the dude sitting there like,
yeah.
He really got Old Country Road, though. He fucked up Old Country Road up, Lil Nas X.
Yeah, I didn't see that one yet.
I think that dude might have peed a little bit on that show. You know what I mean? Because he got it. Mike's the only dude who was that old would really make him, even a younger motherfucker would be like, "Yo, wait a minute. How you people still scared of Mike?" You know what I mean? Like, trust me, they know. Mike be 71 years old. Like when they used to still be scared of Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson, old the motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Mike Tyson at his age, right now at his age, could beat up four tough 20 something at one time.
Dog, he'll win some fights.
Yeah.
Yo, professionally, he'll win some fights.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like I'm just saying, at his age, that he still could fight 4 tough dudes.
Yeah, they know it.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
they know it. You won't hear them yelling, "Let's get him."
Yeah.
If not, you want to run. Your Mike will be the only one chasing 4 people. You know what I mean? Trying to catch them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Come on, man. That dude was ruthless. All right, man. I'm going to get up out of here.
All right, yeah, good one, man.
It's been real, you know?
All right,
It's been real. It's been raw.
On my dark days, I chopped crack on a regular. Ran up in spots and clapped on a regular. Took big fat ass stacks from the register. No matter how hard they tried, they still couldn't measure the hard out hand.